Namaste students, myself Sunil Kumar from the Department of Computer Science. Today we are moving to new chapter 8, function overloading. And today's topic is introduction to function overloading, definition and declaration, calling overloaded functions, advantages and disadvantages, inline and friend functions. And so we'll move to the topic now. User defined function. What is meant by user defined functions? Last year we studied about user defined functions. User defined function is a function and defined by the user to solve his or her problem. If you want to solve any problem of yours, then we are using the user defined functions. Such a function can be called from anywhere and any number of times in the program. If you declare a user defined function, that function can be called anytime or anywhere in a program. So number of times you can call the same function, and anywhere in a program you can call the function. And C++ implements polymorphism. This is one of the feature of the object-oriented programming, polymorphism, through the function overloading and operator overloading. By the function overloading and operator overloading that implements the polymorphism. And today we are going to study about the function overloading. What is a function overloading? Function overloading means two or more functions have same name. Remember, function overloading means multiple functions are created, or we are naming the multiple function with the same name, but it differs in the number of argument or data type of the argument. See, function name should be same, but it should be different in number of argument, or number of argument should be changed either. Then data types of argument, other than types of argument. The multiple function should not contain same number of argument and same type of data. The function overloading is the process of defining the same function name to carry out the similar type of activities. If you want to carry out a similar type of activity, for example, if you want to find the area of different shapes, a similar kind of activities. So in these cases, we can use the function overloading. But the data items are different. For example, if you want to find the area of square, only one side is required. If you want to find the area of rectangle, two sides are required. If you want to find the area of triangle, either three sides or two sides and height is required. So three input, in some cases only one inputs are required. So in these cases, similar operations with the various data items or different data item, at that time we can use the function overloading. And how we can use the function overloading in a program? The main factor in function overloading is a function argument list. Function argument list is the main part or main factor for the function overloading. If there are two functions having the same name, different types of argument or different number of argument, then function overloading is invoked automatically by the compiler. So automatically, if you use the two functions with a different argument list or different type of the list, then automatically function overloading is invoked by the compiler. The function overloading is also known as compile time polymorphism. Compile time is before compiling the program, we are implementing the polymorphism, that is known as compile time polymorphism. Here is an example. Two functions are declared. The function name is same. Here function name is sum. Sum is the function name for two functions, but number of argument also same here. First function also contains two arguments. Second function also contains two arguments. Number of argument also same, but only differ here type of the argument. See, either type of the argument or number of the argument should be differ. So here two functions having the different types of argument, not different number of argument. Here different types of argument, either type of the argument or the number of argument should be changed. Function name should be same. Here overloaded function, to overload a function, each overloaded function must be declared and defined separately. Remember, when you are going to implement the function overloading, we have to give the same function name and different argument list or type of argument, it should be different. So when you are going to implement the functions, First you have to declare, then you have to define. If you using the function overloading with the three functions, that three function also should be defined and declared. Or you can say first you have to declare the function separately, then you have to define the function separately. Here you can see an example. The function name is product. Remember, the function name is product. Two functions. The first function int product, int p, int q, and int r. Three arguments. That is defined here. Later, int product, int p, comma int q, comma int r. Then see out product is p into q into r. So that is defined. So second function, one more function product, one more function product. It's a float product, float x and float y. That also defined later. Remember, first you have to declare, then you have to define the function separately. Then how you can call the overloaded functions? If you want to call the overloaded functions, the following program shows the example for overloaded functions. See here, the class name is given as class fun overloaded. Function overload, you can give any name. So to understand the concept, I given as a function overload or fun over function overloaded. In public section, I declared that three functions. One is int area, int l, int b, float area, float r, float area, float b, float h. So two different variables. So see here three functions, area, three also function name is same. But if you see the number of argument, in first case two integer argument, in second case only one float argument, in third case two float arguments. So if you consider three functions, the three function also differ in at least one manner or one factor. For example, in first case two arguments are there. If you go for second, here number of argument is changing. Then if you go for one more function, here also two argument. First function also two argument, last function also two argument. But here type is different. So this is actually the function overloading. But if you going to call the function overloading in main you have to call the functions. See, first I use f.area 4,6. So I pass two integer. Automatically it will invoke the integer first function because it contains the two integer. Next I call f.area of 10. So 10 I pass, only one argument I pass. Compiler will search the only one argument in function overloading. So here we'll call the second function. And third one is f.area of two float values. So by default you go for the float values. Where if you given the float values here, third function is given as float values. So automatically to go for the third function and it will invoke the third function automatically. So function declaration should be separated. You should define the function separately and you should call the function separately. So if you think about the function overloading, the function overloading means number of the argument or type of the argument should be different, should contain the same function name. The function overloading advantages. Here some advantages are there. Code is executed faster. You can execute the code faster because it is use of function overloading. Automatically it will invoke the functions. That is the main thing. It will execute the code faster. It is easier to understand the flow of information and debug. Easy to understand the flow of information, how data is flowing in a program. That is easily you can understand and easily you can debug. Debug means finding the errors. And code maintenance is easy. Code maintenance because if you are going to find the area of different shapes, no need to think about any other things. Based on the number of arguments, you can think which program it is or which function it is, and we can maintain the code easier. Then easier interface between the program and real world objects. Because if you want to find the area of any shape, particular shape we can give and particular area we can get, you can find the real world entities. That real world entities will be easier to interface with the real world entities. And if you use a function overloading, some restrictions are there. Each function in a set of overloaded function must be have different argument list. Remember, argument list should be different, and type of the argument, only argument list or type of the argument should be differ. If you use a type def, the one more type derived data type def. If you use the type def in naming the functions, that is not considered as a different type. Remember, if you use the type def in function, then that is not considered as the different type. Next, we will move to the one more topic, inline functions. An inline function is a special type of function whose body is inserted at the place where it is called instead of transferring the control to the function. For example, if you use the functions in your program, normally function definition is written in a separately and function call is written in main part. In main part we are going to call. When you are going to execute the program, or before executing the program, we are going to compile the program. Before executing, we are going to compile the program. After compilation, it will create the object code. After compilation, it will create the object code. After that, we are going to execute, so it will be executed. Normally, function program is executed like that. But if you use the inline functions or normally function, if you use, when you are going to compile the program, it will invoke, link will be given to the call. Or if you want to function call is written in main, function definition is there in class. So when you are going to invoke the function, it will transfer the function control, or it will link will be transferred to the main, or from the main link will be transferred to the function definition. Function definition is executed. Once again, it will come back. It will execute the remaining part. But if you use the inline functions, when you call the function, at that place actual function code will be replaced at the time of compilation. The function where it is function call is there, for that place function code, where you written the function code, that will be transferred. There is no need to pass the link, so automatically it will transfer the data from function code to where you wrote the function call, where you are going to call the function. At that place function code is replaced, so it will be execute faster. Instead of transferring the control, automatically we can execute that one. If you want to implement the inline, the keyword inline is used to define the inline function. We have to use inline function, inline keyword to define a inline function. See here definition, you can see an inline function is a special type of function whose body is inserted at the place where it is called. When you are going to call, where you are using function call, at that place the body of the function is inserted, and some rules are there here. Inline function definition start with the keyword inline. We have to use the keyword inline to define the inline function. The inline function should be defined before all function that call it, means it should be declared before when you're going to call all functions. The compiler replace the function call statement with the function code itself, means it is going to expand the function call. It is going to expand a function call, and in that place it is going to insert the function statements, and then compiler compiles the each code. Remember, it is inserted at the time of compilation. After compilation, it will be replaced. Here is the general format for the inline functions. Inline return type, you have to give the user inline return type, function name and argument. We can write the return expression in statement. We can write. Here is one example: inline int cube int a. Then return a into a into a, or finding the cube of a number. Then we are closing that one. And void main int n, c in n, we will take one number, c out cube n, we will use the cube n. We are using the cube n. Then it will be, we are going to call the cube function. At the place of function call, it will replaced by the function definition. Here is some advantage of inline functions. The size of the object code is considerably reduced. So total size of the object code we can reduce. Then speed of the execution of a program increases, because speed will be increased. Reason, if you use a normal functions, it will transfer the link. So link will be transferred to the function definition, it will execute, on second link should come back. Link first will go for the function definition, executed, come back. But if you use a function, inline functions, that linking is not required because code is already there. So it will execute. Linking is not required. That linking time will be reduced. So program execute faster. Very efficient code can be generated. We can execute the efficient code. Then there is no burden on the system for function calling. Function calling is not required because at the place of function call, actual code is there. So no burden about function calling. It is also saves the overhead of return call from function. When you're going to call if you call the function, it will return the data. Sometimes it will return the data. That returning the data is not required in case of function inline functions. Readability of a function in program increase. You can read the function easier to read the functions in it if you use the inline functions. Then some disadvantages also there for inline functions. May increase the size of executable file. The total size of executable file will be increased because we are going to replace the function call by the function definition. So total length will be increased. And more memory is required. More memory is required in case of inline functions. And if you use in header file, it will make the header file size large and not possible to read that one. So if you use inline functions in making the header file, it is also possible to make header files. If you're going to make the header files using the inline functions, the size of the header file will be increased. So total size of the header file will be increased. This is the mainly three disadvantage of the inline functions. The inline function may not work in some situations. The main situation is the inline function definition is too long or too complicated. Complicated programs or too lengthy programs are not working in inline. It should not contain recursive functions. Here written inline function is recursive. When it is recursive, it is not possible to use the inline. Then looping structures should not be there in case of inline functions. Looping structure should not be there in case of inline functions, and also should not have the switch and go to statement. Remember, switch statement, go to statement, recursive, looping statement are not working in case of inline functions. Remember one thing, if you use an inline function, normally you will write the function definition inside the class. Normally you can write function definition inside and outside. If you write the function definition inside the class, by default it is known as inline. You don't need to use the keyword inline, but if you go to extend outside, we have to use the inline keyword. And remember, it is not working in case of recursive functions, looping statements, switch statement and go to statement. Next, we will move to the one more topic, friend functions. Normally, friend function is a non-member function of the class. See, function, if you take the class contains the data members and member functions. But friend function is a non-member function of the class. See, friend function is a non-member function of the class, and it has the permission to access the private and protected members of the class. It's possible to access private, protected and public. It has a full access on the class. Normally a person has friends. That friends can access his personal details. He knows his personal details. So like that, friend function is a non-member function of the class, and it can access the private data of the class. Also possible to access the private data of the class. The friend function is declared within a class with the prefix friend. We have to use one keyword friend in case of friend functions. But it should be defined outside the class like a normal function without prefix. See, when you're going to declare, we have to use the keyword friend. When you're going to define, we should not use the friend keyword. Remember, friend keyword is used to only to declare the functions. Here is a general format. Inside the one class is given. Inside the public, I declared one function, friend, return type, function name and arguments. Remember, friend, function name, return type, function name and argument. Friend is the keyword. Then properties of friend functions. Friend function have some properties. Here, friend function is not a member function of the class. Is not a member function of the class, but has full access permission to private, protected, public. We can access anyhow. So mainly private and protected members of the class can be accessed by the friend functions. It can be declared either in public or private part of anywhere you can declare. Friend function can be declared anywhere. The friend function cannot be called using the object of the class. It can be invoked like normal functions. See, whenever a function is members of a class, then we have to use the object. But here, if you take the friend function is not a member of, it's a non-member functions. If it is non-member function, we should not call from the object. Normally, other function how we are calling, like that we should call the friend functions. The friend function is declared within keyword friend, but while defining the friend function, it does not use either keyword friend or scope operator. See, when you are going to declare the friend function, we have to use the keyword friend. But when you are going to define the function, we should not use friend keyword or scope operator. Scope operator is also not required. They are normal external file functions that are given special access privileges. Special access privileges are there because you can access the private and protected members of the class. Next, it cannot access the data member variable directly, has to use an object name dot member name. Remember, when you are going to access the members of the class, data members of the class, it cannot access directly. We have to use object name dot variable name. We have to use object name dot member name. I will show the example later. Use of friend function is rare. We are not using the friend function normally because it violates the rule of encapsulation and data hiding, because it can access the private and protected members. So data hiding properties are violated. So we are not using the friend functions. Here is a programming example. Here two functions are declared. One is read data and even function. Read data is a normal function and even function is a friend. So while declaring, I used friend in even, then I use argument as number. So number is the object type, leave that one. Then in even number of n, so one object is created. When you're going to access the A is the member of a class. So normally inside the read data we used to see in A, but here in even function, if n dot a, n is object, so we have to use the object name n dot a. So whenever if you're going to access the members of the class, we have to use the objects. You have to use the object dot member name is one example. And when you're going to call the functions, if you want to call the function read data, I declared one object num1. Num1 is the object, num1 dot read data. Normally I will call the function like that. We are going to call the data read data. That is a one function call. But if you are going to call the even function, so I'm not if even of num, I'm passing only object, but I'm not using any object name. Object name dot even, I'm not using like that. So it's a non-member function we have to call directly. So here we reach the end of our session today. In this session we discussed about what is function overloading, what is the difference between the what is the advantages and disadvantages of function overloading, and how to declare the function, how to use the function overloading in case of programming languages, and inline functions and rules to write the inline functions, advantages and disadvantages, and last one is friend functions. So I'll wind up my session today. Thank you.